The commodes and all would be baby sizes, right? So it's easy for them to use. And we are even planning to rope in some of the best creche service providers so that they are able to, provide a top-notch service. Because to, probably see where we see is like, end of the day, it's not just about giving the space. We need to give the space and we need a right service provider. So ultimately the consumer consumes the service, not the space, right? So we are in talks with several, top creche providers to come and operate this. So hopefully we'll be able to come up with that announcement maybe in a couple of quarters, right? So yeah, coming back to this, yeah, the creche has an indoor play area, and then you see a massive, close to, if I'm not wrong, close to around 12,000 square feet of outdoor play area, where the kids can just seamlessly move in and move out. This will greatly make it easy for them to get acclimatized to the creche conditions. And if you actually see in the plan, right, just in the other tower ground floor, there's a co-working space. So we have really, I think that will add great value, because the parents can really come and drop off their kids at the creche and work on the ground, same floor in just the abutting tower. So they'll have good visibility. They can just drop in by, see how their child is doing. So it'll give them a great sense of, I would say, comfort to know what's happening there. And again, from the child perspective also, there's a good, I would say, a detailed analysis, and a lot of child-related sensitivities have been taken care in the design. And then we have even, and then this is for most of the kids in the 1 to, I would say, 3-year segment, right? Then we again took feedback from our customers, and then everything got to do with what to do about once they start going to schools, then what are the sort of facilities they would be needing. So there we focused on the hobby center and the tuition center, right? So where people can probably, take their digital online classes from there, or if they have a in-person tuition teacher coming over. So there is a tuition, there are almost 2 dedicated tuition rooms, and close to 6 sort of places where they can do tuitions and that sort of setup, and they can do their hobby and project work. Because again, one aspect of a community life is there will be quite a few kids going to the same school from the community, right? So they can do their project work and all of that together. So that was another key thing what we focused. So overall, you can see the entire space sums up to 22,000 square feet of childcare amenities, addressing both the 1 to 3-year age group and the 5 to probably 12-year age group. So, all those things have been taken care, and probably, and that's how we designed Loft. Right, so this is some of the imagery of the creche. So you can see how it's going to look like, right? So it's very, even the colors, even I would say the equipment and everything would be child friendly, and would be, the sensitivities of children would be taken care in the design. This is the indoor play area, right, for kids. This is the hobby and the tuition center. Right, so it's time for a poll. So let me know what you guys are thinking with respect to this. So I'm going to launch the poll. So what feature of the urban corridor will be most useful for your children? So please poll and let us know what you're thinking. Guys, roughly around 30 seconds. Around last 5 seconds. So those of you who have not polled, please poll. 3, 2, 1. So I'm closing the poll and I'll be publishing the result. Let me know, let me understand what you guys are thinking. Can we publish the results, team? Great. Okay. So indoor play area is 21%, hobby and tuition 17%, all of the above 58%. Great. And it means we sort of got the design aspect right. So Perfect. Right. So yeah, because I think the childcare was very, very important for us. See, I'll add one more story here before I move on to the next one. Growing up, I grew up in a neighborhood building, like a 5-floor building, right? By end of the month, I used to see my mother used to maintain a khata of all the gas cylinders which she borrowed from the neighbors and the neighbors borrowed from us. Now, if you look at our generation, right, we don't do any such thing because the gas is comes to a centralized mechanism. So can we see the gated community as a product line has solved for utilitarian needs of the customer? The next aspect, the next dimension is can it solve much beyond that, much more than utility? Can it solve for lifestyle needs of the customer? So that's how I feel the work from home and the childcare facilities can really really help us, right? So that's what I think Loft is. So in Loft, I would really want the children to have a great life there, and on top of that, most important for the parents, the convenience and the comfort of having a world-class creche at facilities, something which we wanted to offer. Right now, let me move on to next chapter 4, where it's all about health and fitness. Again, something very, very important aspect of our life, right? So we just came up never bored and never boring. So why we mentioned that? Because see, as a fitness enthusiast myself, the biggest pain point with respect to the entire health and fitness aspect is the point that boredom is is the biggest thing. We go and do the same thing day in and day out. We're going to be fatigued by it. And even when we polled and spoke with people, they did refer to that. Boredom as being one of the biggest reason in dropping out of your fitness regime. In fact, most of our customers have told on an average within a span of 4.5 weeks, they drop out of their workout regime, whatever they set for themselves. So we really want to tackle the boredom problem. So it's not just about giving a gym. It's not just about giving some facility for the brochure perspective. That really doesn't solve for the lifestyle need of the customer, right? So let me give a little brief about the health and fitness facilities at Loft, and let me explain about some of them. So the gym in total is around 5,000 square feet. So we wanted to do something unique with the gym here. Typically, if you look, most of the gyms have a strength training studio and a cardio studio, and eventually people get bored of these, and then nobody ends up using them apart from 10% really enthusiastic people. So we really wanted to tackle that problem. So we came up with the idea of multiple studios within a gym, right? So the gym at Loft will have a strength training studio, right, and a cardio studio, and then a calisthenics studio, something very, very unique and one of its kind, right, which is more sort of a body weight training, and something like your kickboxing, right? So, and it's split into 2 levels. So this is on the 2nd floor. It comes with its own calisthenics studio, and then we have the yoga and the Zumba class space right beside the calisthenics studio, right? And so we wanted to package multiple studios in the health and fitness. That's why we don't want to call it a gym. We want to call it health and fitness infrastructure, where it has multiple studios and multiple facilities, so that it really tackles the boredom problem, and at the same time there's a sense of excitement doing each of this, and people can really experiment with different forms of workouts. So on an average, they end up working out more than what they were doing before. So that was one very key aspect of the entire design of the health and fitness facilities in Loft. So again, the gym is overlooked by swimming pool. So we really wanted to get in that sort of I would say a resort sort of thing, sort of feel, where people can work out and then go into a spa and then probably experience the swimming pool. Right? This is again the yoga and the Zumba space. And again, another key aspect is even sports as part of the health and fitness center, right? So we focused on, again, badminton is something which was something very dear to our customers, and most of the people are play and use this facility. So one unique thing in Loft is, if you look, most of the communities in Financial District, close to 2,000 flats have 3 badminton courts. In Loft, we have 894 flats and we have 3 badminton courts. So that way we have a better ratio going forward. I would say almost double to what's available in the market out there. So that the wait time will be less and the availability of the space would be better than the other projects in the area. So this is some of the imagery of the facility. So this is how it's going to look. So this is a imagery of the gym, right? And this is sort of a kickboxing studio. We are even exploring if we can put in a couple of Pilates machines, because Pilates is also something which a lot of the people are excited about. So we are still in the process of deciding that. And this is the calisthenics studio, the level above. This is the swimming pool which is overlooking the fitness studio, yoga and the Zumba space. This is badminton courts. There are 3 in number. So this is again one interesting infographic which I wanted to share again when we polled previously with our customers. So when we ask them what are the types of workouts you prefer, so you see it's spread across the board. There's nothing gets a significant majority. So this led us to the point of, okay, we need to have multiple studios within the health and fitness center. So people can really, explore what they like, and then, probably, get better at whatever they are interested in. And another aspect also, we are seeing that the entire, the future of workout also is slowly moving to a lot of group classes. That's something which we are observing. Hopefully by the next time when we meet, I'll be able to come up with a better update on this, because again with the gym facility also, what we are thinking is, one is we're giving a very good facility. We really want to rope in a very good service provider as well, because the aspect of having a trainer and the aspect of working out together in groups is really going to improve the entire health and fitness regime of our residents. So that also we are sort of working out with some of the fitness fitness service providers to come and operate the space. Hopefully we get a good vendor. So probably by next ROTC I'll be able to give you an update on that. Right. So some of the other add-on things is we have a dedicated squash. We have a squash court in Loft. We have a big football turf and a box cricket turf. So these turf grounds are like what you see in some of the rooftops of some of the commercial buildings, right, in Gachibowli and High-Tech City area. So this would be similar to that. So people can play sort of football and box cricket. So it again it can engage more number of people, and then it can be done as a more like a group sport, thereby again even fostering relationships with residents and all. And then we have indoor games room. In fact, with the indoor games room, probably now that we have a research platform, we'll be sending out various polls to you guys, because the indoor games room is something where we want more of your feedback. What is it that you guys will be using more? Because sometimes I do see in communities the billiards room or some of these space, carom board ka room, they're not being used as much. See, there's no point in giving unused spaces, because it'll just become like a dark corner. So we will send out a few polls maybe eventually down the line. This is one area where we want your feedback on what do you think we should put there so it will be used much better, right? So that we'll be getting to you. And there are various such amenities. We have a basketball court as well for kids, right? So again, it's time for a poll. So let's see, what is it that you guys are thinking. So I've presented the poll. So please select your option. Guys, around 30 seconds. Around 5 seconds, guys. 3, 2, 1. So let's publish the poll and let's understand what you guys are thinking. Team, can you publish the poll? What's your most preferred approach to staying healthy and fit? So close to 44% have selected more sort of sports. Wonderful. And 34% walking and jogging. Okay, great. Actually, one more point I wanted to mention around walking and jogging also. right? So we have made sure that in loft we, the entire walking track we are giving EPDMS flooring, so that's soft on your knees. When we spoke with, because this point did come up in our surveys, people of all age groups, walking is something which is both, they use it both for fitness and as well for, for the, it's a social activity. People walk in groups, they, they converse with their friends and other residents, right? So walking was something very important for us, and then we wanted to really come up with better solution on that. So the entire walking track in loft project as EPDMS flooring, which is very soft on your knees and which is recommended by doctors. See, walking on concrete is extremely damaging on your knees. So, and since walking being such a prime time activity, so we really wanted to go, give a much, we really wanted to solve for that problem and give a top-notch solution. So the entire walking track in loft has EPDMS. So it will be soft on your knees and it's recommended by the doctor. So that's one great value add what we have done with respect to walking, right? So now let's move on to the last chapter of the design brief, what we call practical luxury. Again, in this day and age, right, and where most, in most couples, both wife and husband are working, this thing which is most deficit is time, right? So can the community really help people in, save, providing utilitarian services so that it can save them on their time, right? So we came up with the concept of practical luxury, where the challenge was, can people reach out to most of the daily utilities within 100 steps? And again, mind you, this is not to get anybody lazy. We in no way want you to become lazy, but we wanted to save time for you guys. So probably you can finish these things faster and still complete the 10,000 steps walking or jogging around the facility. But yeah, the entire concept of practical luxury came up with the thesis that can consumers really, solve for most of their utility needs in just 100 steps. The convenience became very important, and we feel convenience is one super form of luxury. Luxury lies in convenience, right? So that's the entire element of practical luxury. So in this line, we set up various facilities. Like we set up a supermarket and pharmacy on campus, on facility, and again, this too is provided on the ground floor in the urban corridor. Again, something which is very easily accessible and people can get in, get out. Let me share a statistic also. There is almost 80% drop in footfalls if the space is removed from the ground floor to first floor itself, right? So by keeping it on ground floor, the footfalls will be higher, which is good for the business there, and we can really rope in a better service provider for this. So for supermarket services, we have roped in Ratnadeep. They will be offering services here, so they would be operating the facility. So that's one thing. And the next important thing was a salon and spa. Again, see, all these things are daily utilities which will really save us a lot of time if it's really close by. And the entire salon and spa space provided on campus is operated by Bubbles, which is a very well-known salon and spa brand locally. So Bubbles would be operating the facility. And then another key aspect when we were doing research is the entire concept about locker facility. I think the ATM not really, because these days people are using a lot of UPI, so ATM I think is any which was not used much. But the locker facility was something which people cited towards to store their valuable items like gold or several other valuable items. So in Loft we have tied up with ICICI Bank. So ICICI Bank will be having a branch at facility, and they will be having a locker facility, so exclusively for residents. So you guys can use that. And another important thing was the entire concept of clinic, the medical office on facility. So so we have given close to around 600 to 800 square feet of medical office on facility, on site, and with close to 2 clinic rooms. And we are in talks with the various top hospital chains to come and to partner with them so that they can supply doctors in rotation. We have even taken feedback from customers on what sort of doctors they would need. Of course, demand also would probably be driving it much better, but we're making sure at least they send in pediatricians, cardiologists, endocrinologists, and orthopedicians for now. And of course, the community can decide as per their requirement. So we felt these four are very, very essential utilities of day-to-day living, and it would add great value to the community if we can, if they can access this within 100 steps. And another important innovation what we have done here also is that 3 out of the 4 such facilities, we have brought in the best service provider out there. Like for supermarket, we have brought in Ratnadeep. So along with Ratnadeep comes their quality and their standards of operations. And for the spa and salon, we have brought in Bubbles. So you can expect a certain standard of services. The bank ke liye ATM, most of our customers who are in the IT services have their payroll with ICICI Bank, so it will be much easier for them to transact. And for clinic also, we are talking with a few hospital chains. Hopefully by the next ROTC, we will be able to come up with an announcement of whom we have roped in for that, so that it people know. See, gone are the days, I think, where people are just buying space. Today, just by selling space, it's not going to work. You need to sell space, and you need to add a very good service layer on top of it, because ultimately people consume the services. So a unique concept in Loft is we have designed for we have designed each of this space keeping in mind the entire design thesis of each of the space, and even partnering with the best in class service providers, so that we can a top-notch service is delivered to the residents, and so this entire quotient of ease of living can be achieved. Because going forward, I think ease of living is something which is very, very important. It should be way easier to live in our communities compared to our neighboring communities, and we feel this will be a great competitive advantage going into future. So we will be continuously announcing as and when we rope in these service providers, right, to probably make the entire living quotient easier. So this is some of the imagery of our designs. So this is how the salon would be coming up. Another key aspect what we are doing from Loft onwards, right? Typically what happens is developers only give space, right? The bare shell they give out, and the corresponding vendor, whoever is operating, they come in and do the interiors. So we wanted to take a different approach from Loft onwards, because when we saw most of these vendors, they do not really do, I would say, aesthetic interiors. And aesthetics are very important on the usability of the space, right? So, and another thing also is that, by the time they come and do their thing, the place is already done. They really can't change certain things and improve the functionality. So in Loft, we did a unique thing where we are providing the entire interiors and all we are doing as a developer, and the vendor is only doing the operations part. So that the aesthetics have been taken into mind, because typically Bubbles wouldn't be investing to create such type of spaces, but we can as developers, right? Because ultimately it's important for us, because we want to give that the super experience to our residents. So that's something very unique what we are doing from Loft onwards. So we are doing the physical space and we are doing the interiors, so that we can really focus on the aesthetics as well, not lose the aesthetics while the spaces are executed. So this is the banquet hall. Banquet hall was something very, very utilitarian and much needed amenity, right? So if you look in the vicinity, especially in financial district, any decent convention center will cost anywhere close to ₹1,00,000. So, we really wanted to provide great experience here and probably save up on that to our consumers, and, give again a top-notch experience there, right? And this is the guest bedrooms. Again, the entire aspect of guest is something very, very important, and something which our customers have told that's very dear to them. They want their guests to be treated well. So this is how the guest bedrooms will be looking, and I think there are approximately 4 in numbers, right? So it's time for one last poll. So I'll be launching the poll. So the question is, which of these practical luxury amenities are you most excited about? So please mention your answers, guys. We'll take around 30 seconds. So guys, another 5 seconds, and So for those of you who have not polled, please poll. Great. I'll be now launching the result. So team, can you publish the results? Okay, what is it people are saying? So supermarket gets the lion's share. So close to 40% of the people think that's a much needed space. Great. So we are working with the best partner in the city according to that, Ratnadeep. Right, and then the ATM and bank locker, 32%. Oh, great. And then the salon and spa and pharmacy, which will be part of the supermarket. Great, perfect. So then it means we have, and yeah, we've got, so yeah, as you have seen, it's not just about the space. We are even bringing in the best in class service providers so that the service is delivered in top notch, right? So probably that concludes the 5 key aspects which I wanted to discuss with you guys. So probably before we move on to the next phase, I just want to put one more poll and take in your feedback. What features are you most excited about it at Loft? So I've launched the polls. Please guys, poll. So guys, another 5 seconds. So for those of you who are not polled, please poll. Great. I'll be publishing the results. Team, can we publish the results? Oh, great. Majority 50% have said they like all the above, and 27% have mentioned the room-sized outdoor living balconies. Again, the outdoor living balcony has been something very unique and very dear to us. In fact, we were the developers who introduced that concept to Hyderabad, and we received great feedback. Thank you so much for that. The co-working space and the practical amenities. Great. So see, that's what we are offering at Loft. So it's not just about the the home or the flat. It's about the entire living aspect. See, as a developer, what do our products do? Our products are supposed to solve for the lifestyle problems, right? So that's around which we need to develop solutions. So the concept in Loft has been, the main focus has been ease of living. So that's something which we want to strive for and get better as we keep going on. So thank you so much for your feedback. So now that you've seen behind the scenes, see all of this presentation was about what led to the design of Loft, right? So the work from the co-working spaces, the creches, the lobbies, all of this. So now all of this culminates into what we'll be showing you now. We'll be presenting to you the 3D walkthrough. So all of this culminates into that. What I've presented so far is behind the scenes. So guys, so that was the walkthrough. So all the inputs, all these, design brief is as what has led us to create ASBL Loft, right? So before I move on, also I want to, present, a small video on what's happening at site. So far we have spoken on the design lines and we have presented the walkthrough. Now I want to show what's happening at site, so you know what's happening there. So that too will be a small video. Let's take a live tour of the site. Guys, can we play it? So that's about what's happening at site. So we are almost 95% of the excavation is done, close to 100% I think, a little bit here, rocks here and there. And the concreting works have just begun. So we have, the project has set sail, and hopefully, we want to give much ahead of the schedule. So we'll be constantly posting the updates, the live progress reports, frequently once a month and all, on the YouTube channel. So I would say please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll be getting these updates. So before we move on to the Q&A session, just one thing I wanted to present. So I wanted to present the Loft brochure. So we were again very focused on the entire experience aspect of it. We took in a lot of feedback from the and we have observed the entire coffee table books, right? So how they should be looking and all. So we have designed again the best in class brochure. There is, I would say, this is most luxurious brochure out there. So it comes with a magnetic casing, so you can open it this way. Then it's got the colors of prosperity, maroon and gold upon it. So I present to you Loft brochure. So I would. Great. So guys, now let's go on to the next session of the presentation, right? So this would be a live Q&A session. So you guys can post in questions. So our team would be, so the questions would be done in a Slido platform. So they would be posting in the, sorry. Just 1 second, I'm getting the. Guys, this thing. Right, the Q&A session. So please drop your questions in the Slido platform. So there'll be a QR code and there'll be links of the Slido platform which they'll be posting in the comments section. So click on that and submit your questions in the Slido platform. And if at all somebody thinks their question has already been asked, please upvote so that will be coming up the questions list, and I'll be able to answer that. So you can post a question or you can click the upvote feature. Great, I think the questions have begun coming in. I'll wait for 2 minutes and I'll probably start answering them. And as we go on also, people can continuously keep posting the question. Great. I think let's start answering the questions. So the first one is, in a high-rise community, I have concern on number of lifts and waiting time at respective floors. How does Loft solve this? So sir, regarding this, if you look at the floor level, there are 10 flats and we are providing for 10 resident lifts and 1 service lift. And again, the aspect of wait time is something which we did study in the vertical transportation section of the design. And so these things have been taken care of. Another aspect also what we are working towards is probably giving sort of a key cards, right? The magnetic key cards which most of us use in 5-star hotels, where you swipe the card and then press the floor number you want to go. We are doing this so that we can, keep the resident lift only for resident use. Because when we did traffic analysis, there are four key, I would say, three key groups who will be using the elevators. One is the residents, other is the support and service staff, the maids and the housekeepers, and other is the entire delivery staff, the Swiggy, Amazon, these guys. So for all the utilities, right, for all the support staff and delivery staff, there is a exclusive service elevator. So they will be using that, hence not crowding up these lifts. And even with respect to the resident lift, there is one per each flat at a floor level. So there are 10 flats per floor and there are 10 lifts per floor. So that would greatly solve for that problem. Right. Next one is no pre-EMI reimbursement was till terrace completion in Spectra. But why 30th floor in loft? I think in loft also it's up to 30th floor, sir. I think there would have been some miscommunication. In loft also the pre-EMI will be till terrace completion. But I think at 30th floor, one of the 30th floor milestone needs to be paid by the customer, if I'm not wrong. I think so that's what it is. And you can, for further details, you can get in touch with the CRM team. But the pre-EMI will be paid till completion of the terrace, just like all our other projects. Right? Next, what level of customization can I do in the apartment? Sir, so no structural customizations is possible because it's a shear wall structure. So the walls too are load bearing entities. Having said that, you can do skin level customizations. You can probably change the flooring or change some of the CP and sanitary equipment sort of thing, but no structural thing. So that's what is possible. Next one. Is there any pre-launch offer? No, sir, there is no pre-launch offer. In Loft, we received funding from the bank and they closely monitor our sales MIS. So there will not be any pre-launch offer, I'm sorry. Will there be a third-party verification like done in My Home, etc.? Yeah, we are working towards that. We are working towards that. Hopefully, once that's done, I will, we'll announce it out in the form of a letter or something. Generally, B1 parking is reserved for higher floors, but in loft it's opposite. Why is that? Sir, one thing with regarding to parking, I will say there are 4 basements. Somebody has to stay in that. There is nothing like higher floor. Higher floor apartment as a premium view, right? So that's its biggest advantage, right? So the basements have to be distributed out. So there has been a traffic analysis and all of that, and in line with that, we sort of designed the basements. So it's sort of one thing at least we believe in is putting all the information upfront. There has been a certain standard and certain theory what we followed, and that's how the parkings and the basements were allotted. Are amenities free of cost for residents? Sir, regarding amenities, I think just like any other facility, I think there will be basic usage charge, which will be, I would say, similar to what other communities are charging out there. I'll tell you the reason also why. See, basically, the developer is handing over the space, right? And once the usage starts, there needs to be operation layer, right? There needs to be the corresponding operation staff who needs to be paid for and all of that. That's why we charge the nominal fees to use the spaces. So it won't be too much, but it would be applicable and that amount will be used to pay the operation staff. If we don't do that, then you're not going to have an operation staff out there, and hence the space only becomes unusable. So we don't want that, right? Next, why the final payment changed from 45th floor to 30th floor slab? Please let me know tentatively how many months we will get the pre-EMI offer. So the 45th floor has been changed to 30th floor slab, sir, because we have seen in Spire and Spectra, once the 40th floor milestone comes, and that's when the pre-EMI also stops, people are taking way too much time in paying their dues. That's something which needs to be paid in 15 days, they are taking close to 2 months. So which is really increasing our interest expense and all. So that's why we moved it down to the 30th floor. And approximately how many months? I think it should be around 20 to 24 months, if I'm not wrong, depending on the progress of construction. I think roughly around 20 to 24 months, plus minus a month here and there. Next, whether to go for My One or non-My One. Oh, sorry, the question is replaced. There are few luxury items included in the project. Yes, how is the maintenance guaranteed by ASBL from a longer run? So with respect to maintenance, we are also exploring multiple models, right? So we have Spire handover this year in another couple of months. So there we have partnered with CBRE. So CBRE would be doing the entire facility maintenance, and CBRE has been doing maintenance all around for most projects in Hyderabad. So they will come with that experience. So hopefully by the time loft handover comes, that particular relationship would be much better developed and the teething issues will be solved. So, you know, I believe we will be able to offer a far better experience. So today I cannot really say whether it would, which agency say we will be doing the, whether we will be doing or whether a third party agency will be doing the entire maintenance part. But as we go towards the end, we'll be, you know, sharing our thoughts on this and our actions on that. What will be the expected base price during handover time? So see, with respect to the price side, right? So this is a speculative thing. What I believe, I'll say, again, this is purely my opinion and things can change. See, my idea is we have designed loft by keeping in the entire needs of the customers, right? So definitely a product like this will have you know, great demand even in the future. So that's what we believe in. But having said that, yes, a lot of our projects like Spectra and all have seen great appreciation. So there is great demand in the financial district area. So we expect, you know, the demand to go forward. That's what I would say. Why Loft CRM is asking to take loans from Bajaj Finance only? Okay, good question. So sir, with respect to this question, right, see, the entire pre-EMI offer is a cost which the developer is burning, right? So when we partner with various banks, with Bajaj, they have given, so this is not an offer which only the developer is giving. I just want everybody to be on board. This is not an offer which developer exclusively is giving. This offer of pre-EMI, we along with Bajaj together have stitched together this financial package, right? So that's why this offer is only applicable with Bajaj Housing Finance. So, you know, there will be some sort of cost benefits for us. So it's a financial package which the builder and banker has together come out with. It's not the builder alone. So right, so that's why it's only Bajaj. Is there a temple plant as people request in last ROTC as well? Yes, sir. There's a temple plant. The temple is planned and we will be associating with J.R. Swami Trust. So they would be operating and doing the entire Seva Karikram of the God. So it will be, the entire calendar would be designed by them and their pujaris would be operating it. Yes, a temple is planned. Whether to go for Maiwan or non-Maiwan, have heard about seepage issues and then. See, first thing, sir, any high-rise structure, it's not possible to build in non-Maiwan. Point number one. So in non-Maiwan, that is a typical cast-in suit, the brick wall, you know, the typical column beam and brick wall structure. In that we can do approximately around 15 to 20 floors. Anything above that is not possible in that. One, from a time perspective, it takes way too long. Second thing, even from a manpower safety perspective, because in a typical cast-in suit methodology of construction, there needs to be external plastering and people can't external plaster the building at such heights. So, and even in the city, you would have seen there are no buildings above 20 floors where they have done such methodology. So, Maiwan is the only way. Now, coming to the issue of seepages and all, there are multiple ways where we address that by, you know, waterproofing, and right after concreting, we do jet spray of water to see where water is leaking and we open up that part and again we fix it so that we proactively do it so that even the minutest of seepage issues are also resolved. So that would probably guarantee around 90% there will not be any seepage issues, right? When can we expect a model flat and loft? Sir, so we are working out. See, it's very difficult to source land in that area, you know. So we are working out on that. So hopefully we should come up with some announcement soon. The amenities range is interesting. How did you arrive at these concepts as a developer? So basically, sir, with respect to these questions, you know, with respect to this, see, we treat ourselves like more like a hardware company, right? Hardware designers. So we are just designing built-up space, right? So just like any software product or any hardware company or like, you know, probably the manufacturers of laptops or chipsets, there's a good requirement list which people gather. and then they move into development. So we wanted to bring in that practice from Loft. So Loft is the first project where we first did a thorough, research amongst our customers, focus group studies, dipstick surveys and all, and then we, came up with these are the requirements, and then we passed it on to the architects and various other consultants that this is what people want, so let's design in accordance with that. So that's how we are able to come up with unique amenities in Loft, or probably I would say one of a kind, and probably we want to do it more and more going forward. So we want to take the practice of how most of the tech industry works, where you consolidate, you gather requirements, you consolidate and then design, not blindly designing. That will not solve for problems, right? So for how many months will we get the no pre-MA offer? Can you give an... I've answered this question, sir. Approximately 20 to 24 months is what the pre-MA offer one can expect, plus minus 1 month here and there, right? Why is the brochure ceiling height is mentioned 10.5 feet, but the sales team says it's around 9 feet standard height? Is there any issue to have it? Oh, I think then the sales team is communicating wrong. I'll ask them to get it corrected. It's not 9 feet standard height. It's 10 feet 4.5 inches. I think even in the brochure, then the way that 4.5, they would have taken it as 5. No, it's 10 feet 4 to 4.5 inches, so 3.15 meter. Typical heights of most of the buildings are 3 meters. This is 3.15 meter. So 0.15 meter, it has more. So that's around 4 to 4.5 inches. So that would be the gross height. And the net height would be depending 150 mm. I think the slab thickness and the flooring thickness would be removed. And so mota moti, you will be getting an additional close to 4 inch of more space than any of the other projects. Which any of the other projects, to put it in perspective, right? What would be the UDS? Probably I think the CRM will be better able to get back. So I think it's close to, I don't know, probably the CRM would be able to address the right thing. I don't want to say the wrong number. Next one is there a lawn tennis ground? Can you please detail? So the list of amenities I think are mentioned on the website and the brochure. And yeah, there is no lawn tennis. The reason also is that, see, tennis as a facility occupies a lot of space and engages too few people, right? In the high-rise living, we have to carefully and craftily design space. We have to negotiate for something which is used more and engages more people, corresponding to something which engages less number of people. So tennis is not there, right? Next. Do you have any villa project in the future? No, sir, not as of now. We are a very asset-focused company, so we intend to primarily work in the the high-rise apartment space. But I think as in future, in case we go there, probably we'll get in touch with you. What if project handover delay, and how can you assure customer on this? I could see 29 handover date in RERA website. Sir, so in the RERA website, we put it as a practice to take the outermost bound of 6 years. I think most of the approvals are given have a time lapse of 6 years. So we put in that, though the idea is not to do such delay because we'll be paying a lot of pre-MI in that case. And also in the agreement, I think there is a clause on the delay, the penal charges on the delay clause due to delay as well. So we'll be abiding by that. In the RERA website, not only for this project, all projects and most projects in the city also, we mention the entire the entire life cycle, whatever time for which the approval is held active, that timeline we mentioned there, just so that if something work stops and because of some, again, maybe pandemic or something like that, and then the timelines increase again, we should not be going back to RERA and again change that. That just leads into a lot of legal chaos. So we do this because we don't, to avoid those sort of situations. But most of our projects are, in fact, all of our projects on time. So I would like to cite the case of Spire, where we started in 20 November, right? We started excavating, and this November we are giving handovers. So we are even, it's very close there. So we take pride in giving projects on time. Is this a company related with Ashoka Builders and all concern? Yes, sir, this is a company related with Ashoka Builders. My father has been one of the founding member of Ashoka Builders. And then after working with him for first 3 years of my career, I came out, and along with my partner Anil, we started this company ASBL. And then my sister also has joined. So it's a That's its linkage. So my father belongs to Ashoka Builders, and then ASBL is I would say next generation with new set of partners. Are the flats as per Vastu essentially east facing? Also, housing loan should be available through more banks, including SBR, PSB. So flats are 100% as per Vastu, right? All flats east and west facing. So that's the Vastu thing. Regarding SBI and public sector bank, sure sir, we'll get the approval with them. But mind you, when you are going through the SBI or any PSB, public sector bank or any other bank, you will not be getting the pre-MA offer. The pre-MA offer is only exclusively a financial package in partnership with Bajaj and ASBL. So they will be bearing some cost part of it. So that's why it's a together thing. So yeah, we'll get the project approval from SBI and all, but you will not be able to avail the pre-MA offer. What are the fire safety norms that you guys are following since it's a high risk? Sir, I think the fire safety norm, I'll ask the team to probably, Mr. Nihar, right? Yeah, I'll ask the team to probably, send the entire fire DBR, the design brief report to you. So that will have a list of all the technical aspects of the entire design with regarding to the fire safety. And before handover, we will be, so we already got the fire approval. Before handover, we will be getting the NOC, or sorry, the OC, occupancy certificate from the fire department. Only after that will we be able to hand over. So they'll check for whether we complied with what has been approved by the department, and I'll ask the team to share it, or probably the CRM team, you can get in touch, sir. They'll share the report with you, the fire DBR. Will ASBL be maintaining the community after handover? Sir, so essentially for the first 2 years, though, we will be maintaining. After that, we are still in the process of seeing in various communities what's the best format. Should we give it off to the RWA or should we maintain? But for the first 2 years, we'll be maintaining. We'll be maintaining it through a third party like CBRE or any of those agencies, or we might be doing it. So by the time the handover, we are close to the handover, we'll be coming up with the more exact detail of that. Because we are also doing test trials of various formats and different sites. Like in our first project, Lakeside, we maintained for 2 years and then we have given it to the community, in the process of giving it to the community. In ASBL Spire, we are maintaining it for the first 2 years through an agency, CBRE. So as more, we are testing what is the best fit. So by the time loft, we would have done close to 2,000 handovers. So we'll be much better equipped to handle that thing. Is the co-working space free of cost for residents, or what would be the cost? So regarding the policy of the usage of the space, I think we are yet to finalize that. But if I'm not wrong, I would say mota moti, for using of the co-working workspaces, I don't think we intend to keep any cost. But for the meeting rooms, it's a chargeable basis, just so that it earns revenue to pay for the maintenance and the operations staff who are working in that space. So that's how we intend to do. But again, this policy I'll be better able to come up with as we are moving closer to the handover. So we'll be drafting these policies. Is Hyderabad one of the best cities to invest in India? I don't want to enter the market at a wrong time due to FOMO. Sir, so with respect to Hyderabad, let me say a couple of things. One is, we have a very stable political ecosystem. So that's one very essential for growth. Next, we have one of the best traffic conditions in any major city, right? So that's again something very conducive for growth. And then second thing is, third thing is, I think the social infra space is also slowly opening up. We are seeing a lot more F&B stores coming up, a lot more malls are in the pipeline. So definitely I think I'm somebody who's bullish on Hyderabad. Our entire business bet is on Hyderabad. So yes, definitely I think Hyderabad has a great future going forward. And there's a lot of migration also happening from central India and different places into Hyderabad. So yeah, I'm really hopeful for that. I've heard you talk about design philosophy. How do you think you have evolved in terms of design across all your projects? Sir, so yeah, as I've mentioned, right? So initially from the past to now we are moving to a research-led design or consumer-led design. Typically in the developer segment, the way is there's a standard template, and then the architect comes with the standard template, just changing few colors here and there, and then they are built. So I think such a practice is now probably gone. So we are moving into research-led design, where before designing the project, we are conducting surveys, taking in feedback from various people and trying to solve for what they're asking for. So that's, I think, the new difference from Loft, and particularly in Loft, as I've mentioned, the 5 key concepts: the arrival experience, the co-working spaces, the childcare facilities, the practical luxury, and the health and fitness. So those are the key differentiators. But at various levels, we have been doing such surveys and all. Now that you are, you all have also joined the ASBL family, so you also will be, receiving the polls and all. So please fill out and help us. As per Vastu, bathroom cannot be in front of main door. It is Brahmasthanam, auspicious items like should be kept. Why so? So I'll probably look at it in detail and get back to you on this query, sir. How much would be the maintenance price every month after handover? I think the maintenance for the first 2 years we are collecting is 108 rupees. So that's close to, if I'm not wrong, 4.25 rupees per month. That's what it is. And post that, I think it will depend, seriously it will depend on the RWA and the market conditions on such a day. But I think that's a decent amount. It should probably suffice, is what my understanding is, unless something changes dramatically. ASBL sounds to be a great company when you are talking it to market, so that you can invest. ASBL sounds to be great. Okay, thank you. I didn't get that question. How are you taking care of water and treated water in next 10 to 15 years? Often there are issues with water treatment plant and fresh water is reducing. Sir, so there is a dedicated WTP provided on facility, right? So that will be, so there will be a ground test of water done, and basis of which all the raisins, the treatment plant would be functioning. And second over, see, most of the projects in this area, right, there is a government water pipeline which is coming up in that area. So by the time the handover is done, hopefully that work would be done. And as on our part, we will be finishing with all the piping work which is required to connect to that. So most of the water would be piped water. So there's a constant supply. And regarding the piped water also, the government has usually invested in, I think, the Krishna phase 3 and various of these projects. So the supply of water is really good to the city. So, that's how we intend to solve for it. Crush and other facilities will be chargeable, and how will we book them? Ma'am, yes, crush would be chargeable because the service provider would be charging because they need to pay for their staff and all. For booking, ma'am, by that time, I think we'll come up with the app. In fact, our resident app is, is being deployed in Spire, right? So we will be, by that tab, so using that app, you will be able to, book the facility, interact with various service providers on campus. So all of that we will build in through the app. We will make it so that, we are very focused on the ease of living and, probably managing your entire, living ecosystem with that app. So using that, you will be able to do it. Is the EV charging points are provided for each parking lots, or it is only a few communities, 5 to 10 common EV charging point? Sir, Mr. Chakravarti, right? Sir, so with respect to the EV charging point, currently I think what we are saying is there will be only few spots where people can go and charge, but we are exploring. See, the one problem what I have seen from that, because initially our idea was to give to each and every apartment, right, irrespective. But the problem with that, what's happening is, so because of that, there's a bigger transformer, and the bigger transformer ends up eating more electricity. So even if let's say you have an electric car, right, and you're using the charging infrastructure, then there is no problem. But in case you don't have an electric car, then irrespective of whether you use or not, because of a bigger transformer, people have to end up paying 400 rupees, around 400 rupees to 500 rupees of money for electrical billing, for the electrical usage. So that's why we have probably taken a step back, and we are contemplating on, should we give it to every car park, or should we give to few car parks out there? Maybe on this we can have a poll, or maybe, and probably take in what your concerns are, because me personally, I'm more towards the, the clean energy. So I would want the convenience of having, every apartment having its own electrical car charging point. But I just want to take in your opinion as well, because for those who do not have the electrical car, they will still have to pay a higher bill because the transformer is going to eat a lot more electricity, right? So probably you guys can give your, send in your opinions through mail or something, and we can probably address that, and then we'll fix that thing. What level of shock can this high-rises bear based on? Sir, I think most of, if I'm not wrong, most of these buildings are designed for level 2, right? Sorry, zone 2. So there is a big guideline in the NBC, National Building Codes, regarding how the zone 2 buildings should be designed and all of that. So all of those things have been taken in cognizance, and the approving authority, the government, also has approved those designs, and there is a third party agency which the government sends to, like some of the top professors in the leading universities, to approve the designs. So all of those things are taken care, sir. The building elevation is in such a way that it blocks the balcony view sidewards, few floors. Can you explain? Sir, basically that we have done mainly for the facade elevation, sir, because if we probably do not have that, then it will just be a monotonous elevation from, niche se upar, just balcony. So that's more sort of a facade place, so it has a more attractive elevation from outside. Can I get clarification about the approach road? Yeah, I think I've read. So regarding the approach road, so it's a 100-feet road. It's gift deeded to the government. Some people have mentioned that in the RERA or somewhere it's mentioned as public road. I think it would have been an error. It's a full public road. The land is also gift deeded to the government. So probably closer to the handover, we government would be laying the entire BT road. If not, then we can also pitch in and do that. But probably it's better to do it closer to the handover, because now we'll be building it, so there'll be heavy trucks going on. It'll honestly get spoiled. But it's for sure a public road. The gift deed of the land is also done to the government. Government is the owner of the land. Would like to have a space for each project for connecting with CEO directly for some suggestions and collaborating between those who booked. So for collaboration with all the residents, I think maybe we are couple of quarters away from an app. So using that app, I think the entire network, entire community can network and connect. And regarding with the CEO, sure, sir, I think I'll work out maybe a sort of an email ID where you can all send in your suggestions, and probably I can read it from there, right? ASBL is truly inspiring, which completely centric for customers, lessons to be learned. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I mean, it's you guys who are making us better. So it's you design, that's what we call it. Customer-led design will really make us more competent for the future. Thank you so much. Any premium fittings when compared to Spire and Spectra as starting price for Loft is on the higher side? Yes, sir, we are working out on premium fittings. Probably, I think once we close the purchase order with those corresponding vendors, we'll be putting it out to you guys, because yeah, again, this thing is something very important for us, and for me personally is the transparency component, where when I spoke with customers in the past, they were like, can you mention a lot more of these brands instead of saying equivalents? We are working on that problem. See, why I'll say it's not an easy problem to be solved, because what happens is, unless we close the purchase order, we cannot go and put the brands, because in case we put the brand and let's say that particular purchase order is not closed, the vendor can take us for a ride, right? So picking up from Spire, Spectra, we are closing most of the major purchase orders much ahead in the journey, so that we can communicate to the customers that, boss, this is what we are giving. So in the Loft also, we are in that process. So once they are probably closed, we will be sharing it with you. Are there any warranties or guarantees provided for the construction quality of the apartments? Sir, as per RERA, for 5 years, I think the developer will be providing warranty. Right, so the rule is there, so yes, we will be abiding by that. Top Vastu people in India told bathroom in front of main room is very bad. Why did you do so? Yeah. Sure, sir, I'll take a look and probably get back. I think definitely there would have been some functional constraint. If not, we wouldn't be doing it. Is there any construction nearby loft that can block view? Sir, so regarding the construction nearby, as of now, there is nothing planned, right? But having said that, see, these are prime lands which are held by different landowners. So definitely, something they might be coming up with, they might be collaborating with various developers in the future. That we can't promise, but as of now, nothing is planned. That much I can say. Is there a pet area? Yes, sir, there's sort of a pet park where essentially I would say you can use it for pet relief for pets to relieve themselves, that space can be used. So yeah, because again we have seen the pet infrastructure is also something which is very important, and especially around the pet relieving is a major thing. So there is a dedicated pet park where you can take the pets to relieve themselves, and then I think as per the community policy, which we can be probably closer to handover, which will be discussed or probably be finalized, there we can come up with a better pet policy where how to probably the pet engagement can be done. I would like to meet when Spectra is launched, it's 5K. Now Loft is starting with 8K. Why is different? Feel its price a little high. Sir, so with respect to Spectra and Loft, sir, so one, when we purchased land at Spectra, when we purchased land at Loft, we purchased at 2.3 times more than when we purchased at Spectra time in 2018. So this was purchased in 2023. So the land prices have gone up. Second, the cost of construction has gone up. And second, even the look and finish of the project has gone up, right? The entire lobbies and all, they really cost a lot. So that way we are justifying in terms of price. So there's an overall rise in input cost. It's not exclusively only for us. There's overall rise in input cost, and yes, we are planning state-of-the-art amenities, and these things do cost. So that's how the pricing is achieved. I've heard you talk a lot about technology and data science in construction. Can you explain that exact technology? Sir, so we are using the digital twin technology. So where we create a virtual twin of the project, right? We have a virtual operational twin. So, and using the mobile app, the engineers at site constantly feed data, and the virtual twin gets a total understanding of what's happening real time, and basis of which it gives us intelligent feedback on what needs to be done, when, what are the corrective actions, what is the best path, dynamic critical path, and that sort of stuff. So we call it the virtual twin technology, the digital twin, sorry. Since it's high-rise and prestigious, okay, where was will the road will the road be linked to ORR service road? I don't think the road will be linked to ORR service road, sir. The road is a dead end. It becomes a cul-de-sac, and in a way it's good because the traffic also will be less on the street, and it will have that sense of calmness and quietness compared to the roads nearby. So I don't think the road connects to the ORR. Solar power, sir, as per the government norms, we are providing the solar panels on rooftops, and the electricity from this would be channeled to the common area lighting. Of course, it will not be total sufficient for the entire thing, but whatever electricity is generated from the solar panels, that will be directed to the common area lighting, and we are complying with the norm. So we will be providing those on the rooftop. Great presentation and the detailing. Would appreciate your insights on the high density with loft project. Sir, so with respect to density, right, let me address this question. Right, see, only density makes it possible to build in best of the to bring in best of the vendors. See, let me give an example. Like in Spire, we have 400 flats, right? In 400 flats, we are providing a supermarket there, but we are unable to get somebody like Ratnadeep there. So see, definitely there are more. There will be new challenges with high density, but there are even great conveniences which are achieved with that. See, a lot of vendors like ICICI Bank or Ratnadeep or a very good crash provider or somebody like Bubbles and all, they only come when there are minimum of 1,000 flats. Loft is 900, so we could convince them to come. In smaller communities, you're not going to have these service providers. Thereby, the ease of living will be, I would say, less there versus here. And yes, another thing. See, typically developers give around 2% amenity space. In Loft, if you see, we are giving close to 3.3% of clubhouse space and another 34,000 square feet. See, the clubhouse is 55,000 square feet, which is close to, if I'm not wrong, 3.3% of the saleable space and another 34,000 square feet of additional space. See, we need to see high density gives its own challenges. We need to plan well. But high density is the future of living because it will reduce the cost of services. If there's low density, then you cannot have very great vendors out there, and ultimately the residents, residents' quality of living will come down. So I am a proponent believer that high density living is the future, but one needs to carefully plan. Like in our case, we conducted the research. Yes, now with increase in density, what are the new age requirements are. So if you look at LOFT, we are providing for everything. And let's say something like the badminton court, which a lot of people use, right? Typically, if you look in that neighborhood, apartments which have 2,000, communities which have 2,000 apartments have given three badminton courts. But in LOFT, we have 900, we have still given 3. So we need to plan better, but high density is the future of living. Right, since it is high rise and prestigious project, who all are frontline technical team and quality team? Sir, the people who are working in this are engineers who have been with us for the last close to 8 to 10 years, and they've already executed projects, delivered, so they have got that experience. The project manager has a minimum of 15 years experience, right, and all the team also have around 7 to 8 years experience, all the in charges, and then different layers of people are there. So, you can be rest assured that we are deploying our, top-notch manpower on this. And also another thing I would want to point out, the number of quality engineers we deploy per SFT, we are the highest in the industry, and we are almost beating our competitors by 2 times. So we are deploying twice more quality inspectors compared to our competitors. So we are leaving no stone unturned when it comes to progress and quality. In fact, ASBL's bedrock, that is. Since it is high, okay, I think this I've answered. I want to buy a flat. Which is better? So I would say both are very good. So you buy neither one, we'll be very happy. So if you're looking for a little earlier handover, something like in 2025 December, then you can go for Spectra. If you're looking for a little later handover, you can go for LOFT. So it sort of depends on you which one you would like to go. Right. So I think we are done with the questions. So thank you so much. I mean, it was really a really pleasure hosting you all here, and I hope we do more of these things. And we want to actively engage with our buyers, our residents, to to discuss on their needs, their design requirements and all. So thank you so much for being here. Namaste.